Alrighty, hello everybody and welcome to the stream. We are back again working on this track. I've done a little work this morning on this track actually. I won't lie, my ADHD got the better of me and I couldn't help myself. And then I was a bit late doing this stream, so I'm sorry about that too. Let me first take you through what I've done. As you can see, I've got rid of the single track buses where we rendered these things out just so I could remix it basically because it had a bad mix. So I've remixed it and we'll play it through in a minute, but I need to talk about the vocals. As you can see, our vocal bus is a ton smaller than it was yesterday. So first off, I got rid of the main vocals. They were cool, yes, but this track already has way too much going on, so it just felt congested. So because we put so much into our instrument bus and we've got so much going on there, I've really dialed back the vocals. So now it's more of like an atmospheric kind of thing without a main vocal hook. Haven't really done anything other than just a bit of mixing to try and get it sounding as close as possible right now. I have redone a couple of these things. I redid the kick roll and I redid the band pass just to make them a bit smoother. And I redid the sub because for some reason I had put so much processing on it. I have no idea why. So then, yeah, that's all I've done. And then I fiddled with the vocals. So we're going to go play through it right quick. So you can kind of hear where we're at the moment, and then we'll get going on effects and transitions and just smoothing out things for the track. So here we go. You're going to have to excuse my CPU. I can't do much about it. It's the processing on this bus, on the volume bus. On the vocal bus, sorry. If we come down here, you can see our CPU usage on our instrument bus as well is full. Right here, full. Let's see what's... Right, so it's our buses at the minute, so until we render them out, I can't do much about that. So hopefully it won't crackle up too much. CPU is struggling, but with OBS as well, it's really okay. So you get the idea. Basically, we could render out these buses now, but we may as well work on getting this effects layer sorted. It's not going to take a terribly long time. So in order to do that, I want to first show you how you can create your own riser. So we'll do that first. I don't typically do this, but if people want to know, then this is how you can do it. So grab yourself a version of Serum out or a similar synthesizer that has a noise oscillator. You can turn off noise A, and we're just going to have you can turn off oscillator A, sorry, and just turn noise on. Just for 1 sec, we're just going to basically get ourselves a MIDI clip here. Just make it this long, for instance. So insert a MIDI clip here, and we're going to put a note down on the root key. So that's what it sounds like at the minute. There's various different noises you could go through. So let's... My bad. So yeah, there's various different noises. We're going to go for a white noise one. You can probably put a filter on it if you really want to. But I would recommend we do this separately. So what I'm literally going to do there is just render that out. So that, in fact, with Serum, this is a little trick. I don't know if people know, and I'm not sure if you can do it with the just this, but we'll see. So you should be able to drag out. Did that actually produce a? Yeah, you should be able to come up here. There's a little button right here on Serum. You can drag out the waveform as a sample. Yeah, there you go. So if you didn't know that, now you do. Right, so my bloody keyboard is slowly deleting everything. Bloody thing. Okay, thank you. If you could like not keep destroying my shit, thanks. We'll just go freeze and flatten this for the sake of saying that we can do it. And also because my keyboard's broken and I just deleted a whole bunch of stuff. Thank God for undo. All right, now that we've got our little white noise track here, we can well, we can bump up the volume a bit and see the whole, have it nice and juicy. We'll consolidate that. Hello, consolidate please, thank you. So we'll consolidate that, and then we're just going to add some effects on it basically to get the riser. So we have this white noise now. Horrible. Right, first things first, we're going to get a filter on it. So let's use Simplon because it's, I don't know, my favorite. It's easy. We're just going to, I imagine we're going to just want to end off real high, so I think it'll be filter 1. Let's have a little play. Yeah, so we can kind of see what we're aiming for here. So we are going to start down low and obviously end high. In fact, let me think now. Yeah, no, we'll end high and we'll give it a nice curve. So we'll loop this so we can listen. I'm also going to turn it down just a bit. So it starts way too low, so let's bring it here, say. Okay, I'm actually going to see what a bandpass is like. Okay, I want to start that a bit higher there, just a bit low. So let's go to say here. Yes. Okay, we just get a little bit more high pitched as we go. Or not high pitched, but higher in the frequencies. We're also going to do the pitch. So you go into envelopes, select clip and transposition. And we can give this, you know, maybe 12 semitones, which is an octave. Give that a bit of that. You start getting more and more high pitched. Okay, and the other thing I'd say is we're going to go up too high there. We're going to run out of frequency. So let's go from that here. Okay, so something like that. We can, of course, give it a bit of a volume deal. Okay, so we've got the main concept here. So now we are going to freeze and flatten this so that we have it as just what we need, and then we're going to add more effects to make it more interesting and give it more oomph. Okay, let's give it a boost here. Okay, so in this case, we'd probably put that there, I think. Something along those lines. So we need to put some like texture on it perhaps, because it's kind of just boring white noise. So I'm debating what I want to use for that. So I think that manipulator, I think what we'll do is we'll duplicate this layer so we have the clean white noise, and then we'll add the manipulator onto this second layer. We'll mix the two. A bit of parallel processing. And I don't know what we've got in here, so we'll just kind of have a little go through and see what we got. Yeah, something like this could be very cool. And we could automate the dry wet. And maybe also automate the formant here. So let's not the formant, the pitch and the formant. Sorry. So let's first do our dry wet, and we'll have it start halfway and come up full, something like this. And then let's also do the pitch here, like that. And why not do the formant as well? Have it get more high pitched. Let's have a quick listen just on its own here. Okay, so I would first say that these kind of intense, what's that, 0 up to 100. So let's put this on 55-ish or 50-ish. Pitch again, let's take this down to about 50, because this is at the moment going up 24 semitones, so we want it to be about 50. And let's turn this down to about 70 because it gets really intense. Okay, so it's about here. Okay, that's a little bit of something. Let's stick some reverb on here, and also some delay. Let's go timeless. Let's, I don't know, let's just get just a normal delay. 8 notes is probably fine. Let's do the dry wet up to, I don't know, we're going to guess about 70 and have a little listen. Okay, and then if we go back on our delay here, feedback, I'm going to turn the feedback up, which will give some nice noises. And there's the delay offset. I'm looking for this, I believe. Yeah, it's just so it has some runoff, and then just a reverb to kind of smooth out that kind of gross sounding stuff. We also haven't EQ'd anything yet, which is a bad practice. I should have done that. Sorry. So let's stick an EQ on here first. Fix our mistakes. Well, yeah, it's all going to be harsh frequencies, isn't it? Thinking about it. Okay, anyway, let's listen to it with this one. But also, before we do that, we'll steal the delay and reverb for here. We'll listen. Okay, that sounds, well, you know, not good, but because of my CPU usage is sitting a healthy 80% constantly. So I've just bussed these together. So we got one thing here. I'm going to quickly, no, the EQ is fine. I think I'm going to just steal it from here. And we can freeze and flatten these as well. I'm also going to actually move that to the end. Bad practice. I should probably do one here and here. Let's do the right thing. Stop being lazy. There we go. That's me not being lazy. Okay, I seem to have put a whole bunch of stuff here that I didn't want to. There you go. Let's get rid of those. Right. Let's freeze and flatten these so that we can hopefully have a little bit of CPU. We're still going to do a little bit more here. But in fact, I'm going to probably have this one and then edit it again so we have another one. Anytime you like, flower. Sorry about that, my dog's barking. Right, we'll extend this out to, say, there. Let's delete those little bits. And those bits too. Right. So there is our little riser so far. What I want to do is put a trance gate on this, or a gate, sorry. And I'm going to actually use Shaper Box for this, which I wouldn't usually do, but this has much better control on, say, like if we were to pick, I don't know, just for example's sake, this, right? Can you go sit down now, Zeus? Zeus, good boy. So we have this, for instance, so we're having this effect, right? But this goes up to like, I think 32 bars. So if you had, say, yeah, do you see where I'm going with this? We start kind of, say, here. Maybe don't have it so extreme as well. Okay, but yeah, so we're going to click on 8 bars here, and I believe we can automate that. I assume we can. It would be nice if we could. I thought we could. What's that saying? Volume mid-length. Is that this? Let me take a look. Yes, that is this. Okay, so we're going to start, I think, at 8 bars and go right down to whatever the lowest is, which I don't actually know, but it is 1/128. So if we have to listen, I'm actually going to bend this up, and I'm going to move this endpoint to here, where is our like precipice. Actually, I would say our precipice is here, looking at it. Yeah. This is a bit not great because it is not so equal. I know what you're saying, Tom. That is way too much. Well, I'm telling you now, it won't be in a moment. Right, we're going to come back down here as well so that it kind of slows back down here. Okay. Now we're going to pull the mix down to about, I don't know, 30%, and we'll bring it up from there and see how we get on. Okay, nice. Now what we're going to do is resample that little bad boy right there with its own little sample. Okay, nice. We're going to pull that. Oops, not going to do that. We just did. We're going to pull this down I can't actually see anything on it, so I'm going to go ahead and assume that it's really fucking tiny. Yes, it is. Let's beef it up a bit so we can see it for one. Consolidate this. Consolidate. Alrighty. Now, as I said before... Okay, there we go. Look how beautiful that is. Right, as I said before, you can kind of see where the precipice is of this, like where it gets to its loudest point. I think it's like, if we zoom in a bit here, I think it's like right here. You can see that little dip. I'm pretty sure that's it right there. Okay, so we are going to cut that bit off. I'm actually just going to delete this now. You actually know what we can do. We'll turn it off and we'll keep it in case we want to make another one, and it's a good basis then, isn't it? So let's rename it riser, and let's put it up in this unused frozen layer area, and make sure we turn off the soloing. Right, so I've cut that pretty, you know, sharp, and I'm just going to put it back on the grid here by moving it up to a line, like the first drop line, a little bit over this way. Moving it up to here like that. And yeah, I'm just going to trim off that end and resample this. Not do that. Not resample it, sorry, consolidate it. Okay, so we took off that tail and we're going to add our own one back in now by using another reverb. I think we're going to go and use that Comet. I love this. I've been using it a little bit with the vocals. It's really big, but it sounds great. And you can stack them as well. I didn't know that, but that was really cool. Let's go for large, and I don't know, Vibes of Steel sounds cool. Don't know, we're just experimenting at this point. Let me turn that right down. Jesus Christ. What I'm listening for is the delay and reverb tail. If it's got a nice delay and reverb tail, that's all. So we'll listen to this whole thing here. Nice. I'm actually not going to mess with this anymore. I'm going to dampen the lows really all the way up though, just for that. It's just going to give it a bit of an EQ. Okay, I'm going to commit that so that we can see the tail, and then we're going to try and mix it into this track a little bit. It's been a long time since I've made a fucking riser. But I wanted you to see that it's not really difficult. It just requires a little bit of knowledge. Right, let's shut this down so we can concentrate where we are. Let's look up here. Let's see, right. We want to go where that symbol is, right there. Not sure. We're going to mix this in a bit here. Stop. Come on, I can't hear. Ugh. So irritating. Right at the fucking... That sounded pretty good, but I can't be 100% sure. I think that's good. Look, I think it's good, but I can't fucking tell, not 100%. I really need to bust these out. So I might have to do that pretty soon because this is just irritating. I didn't really want to bust them out in case we had to do more mixdown work, but I suppose what I could do is turn off the effects racks on some of these just to try and give us enough. I'll leave the dynamic EQs on, but just kind of take off everything else, and just hopefully that will give us enough that I can listen to it. That sound pretty good. One more time. It definitely helps with the transition. One thing that I thought I would do, but I didn't want to do it off stream and I forgot until now, is basically, don't find this peculiar, but I'm basically just going to take that out right there. That whole part of the beginning of the track, don't need it. I think the intro is way too long personally, so I'm gonna move it up a bit. Let me see. Is that in the right place? Yes, I think so. So yeah, we're just gonna move everything up by like 4, I guess it is. Is it? Yeah, something like that. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, something like that. So okay, so one thing I'm going to do real quick is I'm going to steal this tail and bring this down. I'm going to shorten it to about there, and we're going to consolidate that, and then I'm going to hold Alt or Shift, sorry, so I can stretch it out, and we're going to make sure it's on Complex Pro here. And then all I'm going to do is bring that to the beginning. Be loud on that. Okay, we're going to go ahead and stick another reverb on that. I'm also going to stick an EQ before that reverb there, and I'm going to just tighten it right up so it's quite in the high frequencies. Okay, it is too loud. Sounds really fucking robotic. That's weird. So I think if we come on to Complex Pro and we... Okay. First off, that's ugly. So we're going to go ahead and just delete it, pull this back out because I didn't realize that I had cut it off. I didn't mean to do that. We're going to pull this back down. I'm just going to leave it that size. I was hoping to try and make it stretch out a bit, but it's just gone kind of robotic-y. So that will have to do. So we've got that extra reverb and we've tightened it up. So it's sounds a little different to that one. So let's listen. Nice. Then I'm going to pull this down again, copy it out again. This time I'm going to reverse it and I'm going to pull it up to here and trim it up quite tight, something like that. I actually want to hear that go. We want it up against the drop there. I kind of want to hear it suck in now, hopefully. Yeah, so there's this little suck in. It's quite quiet. Like that. But let's give it a bit more of a fade in. It's just going to help to suck into these little parts here. Like we can do it right here as well on this drop right here. I think that's where it is anyway. Oh no, that's just because I didn't like the sound of that. Okay, let's put that there, which I believe is right now. Yes, So listening. There's just a little suck in that really is going to help. And then we're going to have this like little fadey one. Probably at I don't know if it's going to be too much here. Let's give it a go. So it is a bit much there, but I do think it's fine for the break. Yeah, I'm just going to help suck it in. And then we'll also put it at the beginning of the outro just for that again. I do want to give it a little less volume. Yes. Okay, this big boy here is going to be copied up to here. This one here is for all our little transitions. So we've got the one in the middle there, and then we've got one over here. I believe it's right here. May need to double check that. It looks like it, yes. So it should be fine. Okay, then I'm going to get ourselves some room here to breathe. I'm going to copy the big boy down onto its own layer as well. And we're going to shorten it right down to about 1/4 of its length. So I'd say about here. Just trim it, that's fine. And then we're just going to re-establish that little fade in. So now we've got a short version of this, and we can pitch this up perhaps just to give it some variation. Let's pitch up about 1/2 an octave. Yeah, and then these are smaller ones, so I actually want to use those to try and go into here, and they're going to be a little quieter. That may even be too big right there, so I think I'm going to trim it back in a bit this far. Don't want that to be quite as extreme. So it's just a smaller riser to kind of bring us into these areas. Back one. Okay, let's just do one more little experiment here. And I think what we're going to do here is stretch this back out to its former glory. Oops. Stretch it back out. We're going to cut off its tail and just copy it over, reverse it, and then just come in here, and we're going to blend these kind of, if we can. I think we might have to pull these back a couple, kind of thing, and join them. Yeah, something like that. So they've got a little blend. I kind of just want to listen to this. Okay, that sounds pretty good. I'm going to add a EQ on it. I want to perhaps cut out some of that low end. Okay, I'm going to keep hold of that point there. We're going to go back and forth, Press A, and we should have the right frequency band. Yes, so all we're going to do is just have like a little ramp up. So we want to go the other way, but that's okay. So have this little, let's start again here. Start here. We're going to have it have a ramp up. So we'll drop that there, pick this back up here, something like that. So then this. Like this. Okay. First off, we're going to shorten this transition to be quite short like that. And then have it go, oops. For Jesus' sake, irritating. All right. I'm going to have a shorter one here. So we'll go up, have that up into the middle, have this one go down if I can, go down like that. 372. Okay, let's listen. That's too slow. Bring it in. I'm just aiming for a sweep kind of thing here, guys, if you were unaware. So we're going to shorten. So you can see on the EQ here, this is what's happening. It's just taking a bit. And we're going to, let's freeze and flatten this track so that commits that. My phone just won't stop going off, just keeps going off and off and off. Ugh, annoying. Alrighty. Getting that? Alright. So here is our little guy. Let's make him, consolidate him into that size so it's not a weird thing to mess with. Right, now on our little areas where we are going in and out of different drop styles, right? So something different happening. I'd like to place this way too quiet at the moment. Still way too quiet, but that's okay. We'll boost it. I feel like it's too slow. Complex. Yeah, better. Let's go ahead and we're going to get our nice new favorite reverb and delay on here. It's like a nice little pop actually, which I quite like. Okay, I think what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to cut it down and let that reverb create a tail. So it's just like a little riser, right? So if we freeze and flatten this, we'll get its tail, and then we'll move it across the whole track. And then I think we've got to export these buses so that we can do transitions for the whole song, and then we're done for today's stream. And then tomorrow we're going to finish the track. It'll be done. We'll mix and master it, and it'll be done. Right, let's take that, consolidate it into its own size drama. Right, so this one here, I'm going to pretty much move to each one of these. I feel I'm tempted to, I need to probably check here probably. I'm going to take it out there. I don't like that too, actually. I'm going to take that with it. I'm pretty happy with the mixdown as it is, so for the moment, who knows how I'll go tomorrow. So I seem to wake up every day and want to do something different. Okay, all I'm going to do now is just try and grab my splice out. I'm just going to try and find some kind of riser to kind of boost this up a bit, you know. Okay, yes, I'll allow it. Don't know why you're asking me again, but or why you're taking so long to bloody do it. Alrighty, let me have a look-see. If it's ever going to load. Hello? Okay. FX. I should have lots of them. 540. Okay. Let's put them in the right key then, seeing as we've got so many. F minor, please. F minor. Oh, are we in F major? My bad, F major. Are we? Are we really? So it's minor. But up here we've got it set to major, so don't know. Guess we're gonna find out. It is minor, it is minor. Fine. Weird. Okay. So I'm just going to find some other vocals. Not vocals, some other I can't think now. Risers, sorry, thanks. Just to try and like that one's nice. Let's go ahead, paste that in. Hello. Oh, there we go. So this one, I believe, would be better off on its own track, and we're going to use it. I don't know, actually. That's a good question. I think it's definitely a riser in. Is it also a riser we could use along with this? Definitely use it here. It needs some EQ because it's got some rather low frequencies. I don't think use it over the other riser, but we will get another riser just to let's didn't even hear it that time. Well, because we've cut it all out. Okay. And we've got our combat again. Decay time, bump that up. There's a little something there to like bring us in and out of things, or into things, sorry. So get a little more liberally here. Okay, one more just solid riser, please. Give it its own layer. Make sure it all lines up nice. Again, we'll do that. Put them on there. Bump that into there. Yes. Yes, nice and long into that next one, right? You hear what I'm saying? Hey, come on now. Okay. So I'm pretty happy with that as our effects. I'm going to leave it there. There's a little bit of work I want to do just on this vocal right here. Right, just this one right here. So I'm actually going to pull that out onto its own bus here. So this is the one that happens in the drop and the first drop. So yeah, I just want to EQ it a bit more separately to the others. A bit more. Yeah, something like that, and then put in a spectral here, have it wide, oops, have it come down. So something like that, and then I'm also, while we're in here, I'm just going to add ourselves a nice little fade with this in that first instance. Okay, we do need to listen to this whole song. I'm not going to turn on the bus processing. We'll in fact just leave it off, and we'll put it on the individual buses. So we're just going to leave that off. So if we listen, we're going to have to listen to the whole thing. Hopefully with the bus is off, it should be sound. So have a little listen through before we export stuff. do this, guys. Loose, go away from the door. Loose, go and sit down. You can like it all day. There's nobody out there. This is going to be smart now. Nice. Do a quick check on the mix. Do a little A/B testing here, guys. Just set this up here. Okay, nice and matched up. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to loop the same area. And we're just going to do a little bit of A/B testing here. So we'll start with the sub. I'd say that's close, wouldn't you guys? I'd say my sub needs to go a little bit higher, if anything. Yes, there. That sounds good. Basses. That sounds a bit better. Okay, low mids. That actually sounds good. Mids. A little bit more here. Oh, please need a little boost up. There we go. Turn these down a little bit. Okay, so that should sound pretty good now. To make sure we keep the side chains here, we didn't do that, so now we've got that side chain trigger, but that's okay, we're just good now. Okay, quick listen through, and then we're going to render out our passes here. One thing I do is turn down this bad boy by a significant bit. Okay, what I'm actually going to do is just copy this part here and replace it. I think there's because of the gate. Yeah, there's really harsh to it because there's a gate here. So that works. You gotta think of a name for this as well. I won't name it yet. Leave it in the comments if you watch this somewhere. I'll see the comment wherever you do watch it. You need to name the tune. Everything kind of has its place now. It's not overdone like it was yesterday. It's nice that some of those samples we overdid it. Simple is always better, and an ADHD person like myself can often get caught up in building a thing that doesn't need to be there. But that's why it's important to take a couple of days on your music, because you need to have breaks from it so you can go back later and listen and go, oh, actually I don't like it. Let me turn this down a little bit more. It's kind of loud, especially in this part. We'll turn it down a bit more. Thing I'm going to do quick is just go through and delete all the effects off of our buses here. We're just going to redo them, I think. These are mainly just dynamic EQs. They are actually important to the sound, but we don't need to have them on right now. Also, I quite like the vocals there, so I'm not going to rush to put all that processing back on them, so we'll just take them off and we'll treat them as its own bus. We've got nothing going on here. Okay, so with that in mind, we're going to take a little break here while I render out these buses. It's probably going to take a minute, so give us a sec for that. And I probably need to clear the folder up because I've obviously been tidying up here. So let's see, stems. I don't think we need any of them. We certainly don't need that. What about this? Can I? I can. Okay. Well, actually, let me do roll up, delete. Let's do a collect all and save. So we've got everything in the Ableton folder that we need to be there. That way we can. I'm just cleaning up my stems folder, guys. My bad. Right. So we're going to select this. I'm actually going to just save myself some time later and just kind of export all of the stems, right? Why are you not shrinking up like a good boy? There you go. So we'll open everything up, and once we've got everything open, we will go through. I need to do some renaming here quick. So we'll just do that really quick. Just go through and rename stuff. So we've got kick. Oh, got caps lock on. Snare. Kick. Snare. Breaks. Highs. Shaker, hi-hat 2, ride. Band pass up, kick roll, yes. Hi-hat intro, shaker out, crash. Crash. Let's call this one crash 1. Let's call this reverse crash, yeah. Space bus sub. Respace. Res 1. Res 2. Res 2. Octave up. Pluck bass, yes. Pluck effects. Okay, going through instrument bus, piano lead, pad, yes. Vocal bus, vocal transition. So this one here is our little transition effect, or whatever it's called, a little boop 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 boop. I don't know what we call it. We call it bouncy vocal effect. This one here is alright, I think it says. Alright. We're going to call that alright vocal. This one is like the hold me one. Hold me vocal. Don't know why, but my keyboard isn't playing up now. I think it's when it's cold, maybe. It's weird. And then we're going to put control hold me vocal drop. Okay, we've got effects bus. We're going to say main, what is that called again? A riser. Main riser. Down sweep. This one is a vocal riser. This one is a vocal riser 2. This one is a vocal riser 3. Alrighty, so and we got one more, and this is just a riser 2. Okay, so we got our everything's labeled and called nice things. So I'm literally just going to extract all of them. So we're going to select all of those, select that like this, go file, export, selected tracks only, WAV format. We'll go export to our stems, and we're going to put, I don't really have a name for this yet, so let's just put hold me. We possibly might call it that. That seems like what it needs to be called, but I'm going to let you people decide. If you don't, then that's what I'll call it, hold me. So now it's going. It's going to take ages, I'd imagine. It's going to take at least 5 minutes, so you can watch this. So here we are. They are coming in now, thick and fast. Boom, boom, boom. Shake, shake the room. Coming in, thick and fat. Look at them go. So here's all of our stems rendered out. We're just finishing up here. And that's it. Yeah, so that's all of our stems rendered out. What I'm going to do is go through and find our bus stems. So we've got our effects bus, our vocal bus, our bass bus, our instrument bus, and of course our drum bus, and we're going to drag them into the pre-master stems. So now we have all of these which are not our buses, and then we have these which are our buses. So what we're going to do is collect all and save this one more time here. Make sure everything is saved. We're going to go here, got all of this selected. We're going to go ahead and delete it, and your CPU will fucking get a lot happier. We can also go ahead in this one and just delete the frozen layers. We don't need to go back. If we do, we need to redo our buses, so we may as well delete that here. That again is going to help with our CPU. So we are now back to good CPU usage. Let's get our tracks out here. So stems, pre-master stems. So here we have our drum bus, our bass bus, our instrument bus, our vocal bus, and our effects bus. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and select all of those, remove the names, and it will take the names of the files here. Now, because of my particular likes, I'm just going to do that because I don't like seeing the names up there. I find it distracting when I chop things up and there's loads of names. So there is our track, nicely. We can play that now. So it turns out when you remove the names from here, it also removes the names from there. Did not know that. Now I do. Anyway, so first things first, we're going to work on each individual layer. We're just going to make it sound as good as we can without messing with its level. So it's very important that we have our loudness meter up. I'm also just going to go ahead and remove some of these here just that we don't need. So we're going to grab our loudness meter here. We'll single out our drums, and we're just going to loop a section, a large section in this case. I want to see where my drums are sitting. Okay, so as you can see, they're mostly sitting around 12 dB, which is actually perfect. We have some peaks here that we're going to take care of, and basically our goal here now is to make this sound as good as possible, but we're going to keep it at 12 dB basically. We don't want to add volume. So in order to do that, I do have effects racks pre-made, but I think we'll just do this way. So we're going to do some saturating. I'm going to have this loudness meter up on my other screen here. If there's something I need to show you, I'll pull it over. Okay, so sausage fattener start. I'm going to increase it. And then we'll pull back our gain so that we're sitting, again, the right volume. Seems about right. So we've not added any volume, just saturation, which has made it sound fatter, as you can hear. Some more saturation from Saturn 2. Just a warm tape is fine, or even if it's gentle saturation would be good. This does a good job of not adding in volume already. It keeps it about the same. But as you can see, the difference between, if you want to see the difference between our waveform right now, so this is raw, unedited. This is with, hold on. So raw and unedited, and then with our saturation here. It's really not changed very much, except for these peaks are fuller here. It just seems to be a bit fuller. We're going to increase that now with some compression. Again, in fact I might use a bus compressor. Grab this bus compressor. We'll have the, in fact we can use a preset and see how we get on with that. I mean, that looks pretty good. It's saying we need to make up 5.5 dB, so we need to bring this down. No, that's too much. Okay, so I'm going to bring this makeup down to 2. In fact, we'll use our loudness meter here to visually see that. I'm actually putting it back further just to keep it in the 12 range here. So we've got a bit of compression coming on there. Next up, I don't like to do too much more, so the last thing I'm going to do is, if I can think, compressor, saturation compressor. I don't think we need to do any EQing that wasn't already done before. My brain's gone blank now. Oh, a clipper or a limiter. We could use both. I think in this case I'm just going to go straight for a clipper. What I'm aiming to do is pull down this peak here. So there's a snare peak, so I'm aiming to pull that down. So we're going to drag this ceiling down here and do a bit of snipping. So we can see here we have pulled down that peak there, but we haven't affected the sound. Okay, just going to smooth this out, which brings back even more of the sound. And now we could add that decibels back in, but as you can see we're riding on 12 here, so I'm actually going to leave it there. Okay, and then I think we'll go into Max Alive and use the bloatinator here. We should probably put this before the clipper, my bad. And make sure we're not going too loud here. There we go, about there. So it gives loudness without actually increasing the loudness. We're just double checking here, just so, yeah, because now we're taking off a whole bunch more because we made it more. Let's start that again. So about 3 was what we were going for. Okay, so that brings our waveform pretty nice and tight along the 12 dB range. And also if we were to grab out a I forget what they're called, I'll tell you now, oscilloscope, you can see that we have no major peaks. Yeah, let's give this some more space. So as we render out, you see we have no huge peaks. We've got some big snares in there, but I think we need them in this track. So that now is probably as nice as we can get it. If we were to, we can get rid of the shaper box, but if we were to select all these, group them up, and go on and off, we'll listen to the before and after. So this is before, and remember, we've not added any volume. We're just, so you can see on our thing here, we're basically on the 12 dB mark, a bit below and a bit above, right? As soon as we turn this on, thank you for the sub, Prod Hayes, thank you for the sub, or lady, whoever you are. So now when we turn on our effects, you can feel that it's fatter and it's warmer, and we've also trimmed off that nasty snare, and now we've got this nice clean waveform. What this allows us to do is when we master, this big horrible snare is not going to trigger our limiter before the rest of our drums, causing distortion. So we make sure that we trim that off and it's all nice and flat, and now our drums hitting into a limiter are all going to hit at the same time, or the right things are going to hit at the right time, right? So we just tidied that up. We're going to work now on our bass bus. It's not too dissimilar from our drum bus. There is a little bit more to it, but we'll go first for our bass bus. We'll copy the effects over here, and we are going to turn them off one by one and add them back in. But essentially, this is a good way to kind of make things sound fat. They're buses, so I'm not going to do EQing because I don't, unless there's something drastic I want to take out, I'm not going to EQ, because I've just spent on the other project before we bust out all of these EQing the hell out of it, so we don't actually need it. So let's listen. So first off, we want to take stock of our volume here. So this is a little bit above 12. That's probably not good, but we'll sort that in a little while. But also, we'll try to pull a lot of this peakage down, okay? So I'm going to again put this on the other screen so I can keep an eye on it. What's going on here? I assume my stream's still going on all fine because it says that I'm not streaming to yep, still streaming fine. Okay, sorry guys, I was just keeping an eye on my OBS here. Okay, so here's our bass, and we're aiming for about 12 dB here, so adding in my sausage fattener. We have added fatness in, but we haven't really added any volume in. A little bit maybe, we can take it a little bit further down. Let me see. So somewhere about there. So we've pulled it an extra dB down in volume. We'll add a Saturn, which again just adds more warmth. With basses, and with drum and bass and EDM music specifically, you want enough saturation on your bass that it can be played on a phone, right, to some degree. So in order to achieve that, I use this plugin. It's another saturation plugin, but it's more targeted, and it's called Bass XXL. We're going to pop that in this little chain here, and first thing we'll do is select note, so that's easiest, and we're going to go to F, which is our root note. So this is just placing saturation on our sub now. Oversampling on, if you've got the CPU for it, and you can just now add tons of saturation to your bass, but this is going to add volume and tons of it, right? So bring this down. So we're still kind of up and down around 12 dB, right? Nice. So we haven't actually added anything in regards to that. So we're going to say, do a bit of compression here. See how that is kind of smoothed out the peaks there, but again, it's way too loud. We probably want to only have this at what, 4.5 or something like that, which brings us back down to the 12 there. Everything else I'm going to kind of leave where it is. If you want to do a high pass, but I don't think it needs it. So it's just simple bus processing, compression. In again with the bloatonizer, same effects, not adding any volume in. And then with our clipper, we'll just reset it, turn it on. And let's take a look at our oscilloscope here. And just try and trim a couple of dB off. We don't want to change any sound. If we go too far, we destroy our sound completely. So we're actually pulling it off. One and a half dB. Checking our thing here, we're actually got some space to up this, so we'll add that 1.5 dB back in, getting us back up to 12, and we're just going to check and pull this little wheel down until we see red there, and pull it back a bit. We don't want red, but we don't want to go too far, otherwise we lose information. So there is our nice clean bass. Now if we turn off our effects rack, you can see what it looked like before. Messy. Now after, thicker and cleaner. Real thick, nice. Let's do it. Sounds good. I like it. Very nice. Yeah, pretty happy with that. So it sounds nice. We can now move on to our instrument bus. Again, it's not going to be too dissimilar from our other buses here. We may add some separate things, but we can copy this over because it is going to have at least this stuff, right? So let's listen. Okay, first things first, it's got quite a lot of resonant frequencies that I want to take care of straight away, so that we go straight in with the EQ. We could turn all this off because that's probably what added it in, but we don't want to amplify resonant frequencies, so we're going to work on taking those out first. And I'm loving Pro Q4 for this. It's so easy, and I don't know, it just seems to work really well. So we're just going to have it encompass the whole thing. We'll increase it. Okay. That's pulling out quite a lot of it. Okay, some saturation here. That has added some decibels in, so I'm going to pull them out. So another little bit of saturation. And a bus compressor. We're going to change this to pull back on. And just so you know, we're kind of dipping in and out between about 12 dB here. clipper here, and we want to take off a couple of dB if we can, like that. Okay, let's listen. I would say our bass bus is too loud here. It sounds pretty good for now. We will work on the final mix later. It's just because we're not exactly exact on our volume matches right here, right? I am also going to pop a little bit of reverb on this channel here, mainly just to help glue things together. It's going to be quite subtle. Reverb does make things louder, so bear that in mind. Okay, onto the vocal bus. It sounds weird, by the way, because of in fact it sounds weird because of side chains and gates and things. What do I want to do with this? I want to probably copy this one and edit that with this. So paste, please. Alrighty, we'll turn these ones off for now. Get a good read. And here maybe a bit busier. Okay, so we're about 20 dB here. Minus 20 dB, I should say. Okay, we've got some sub information here. Okay. That hasn't added anything. Hasn't added anything. Let's see. Just something like this. That's fine. Bit of a boost. 1 second. No, over here, please. Yeah, it's not too much. Okie dokie. So let's do some A/B. What am I saying? Let's do some A/B reference tracking, mixing here, making sure we just get everything nicely, neatly, nicely. We need to pick a track. I tried to think of one of my own tracks that was similar, but I'm not exactly sure, so I'm gonna go with Nights In, and we'll see if that works. So drop that in, calculate the waveform. Let's pick an area. Press 1, sorry. Pick an area. So like there, loop, loop. So loop this little area, and then press play. Match the volumes. Sub, and we're just going to compare, because I know that this is better mixed because I've done it already. Okay, that sounds, I might get a different one. Do this. Match the audio. Oh wait, we don't really want to match the audio there, do we? We want it back here, but it's going to be horrifically loud. That's okay. Press 1, match the loudness, take all that back out. There we go. Okay. Say it's loud compared to that one. It sounds pretty good though. Oh, double check that. This one seems real loud compared. What's that now done? Seems confused. Okay, you know what? I'm going to move it. Move that one. I'm going to do it this way. Pre-master, I like it. It's there. One loop, match audio, loop. Okay, that sounds probably about right, because ours is overly loud. Okay, I know that there's definitely some work in the stereo image that needs doing. Do you see here, the bass down here is much thinner than ours. It's fucking massive, and ours is all over the place. We're way too wide, but we'll figure that out in a little while. Okay, well, let's move on. Low mids. Okay. Sounds pretty good. I think that's okay. Okay, that sounds pretty good to me. We're going to just close these up here. And we're going to do some dynamic EQing just so that everything kind of sits in a nice pocket. I don't really ever do anything to these. I would maybe like to look at it on an EQ though, but I don't think we need to. I mean, I don't typically do much to my effects outside of just bussing them afterwards, I mean at this stage, so. Okay, we do have some sub information that we can cut right out. So that's something. I might also just give it a little boost in volume, maybe up to 3 dB. Nice. Happy with that. Okay, so a bit more work on the dynamics, and then we need to do some transitional work, and then we're going to bus these and then work on that as a whole, compressing things, gluing things together, making things sound clear and stuff, and working on the image, the stereo image, and then that's really kind of close to the end. But then I'll put a quick master on it, and then I'm going to listen to it for a day. And then if I need to change anything, we'll do another stream. But because I wouldn't mind remastering Miss Optimistic as well. But we'll see. Okay, let's start off with our bass bus here. We are going to pop Fuser on the bass bus. And we're going to have it fused to our drum bus. You've seen me do this a bunch, I think. So you should be fine. And we'll select a busy part. Okay, so those two now sit nicely with each other. We're going to fuse the instrument bus to the vocal bus so that the instrument pulls back when the instrument bus pulls back when the vocals are playing. So we're going to have those play over each other. Okay, so then we're going to group these two. We'll call this, I don't know, instruments. We'll group these two, and we're going to call this one DnB. Now we have these two parts. We're going to group these two buses here and call this, I don't know, bus. I don't really know what to call it. And then the bus here is going to get a fuser. And what we're going to do is loop an area here where we have the thing here, and we're going to have it on the bus here. Is that right? Oh. I can't have it on the bus like that. That's okay then. Well, no, never mind. What we do instead then is we grab this bus, we take fuser off, and instead of that we use a compressor, which is fine because everything's playing. The compressor only really works if everything's playing, I think that's it anyway. But basically all I want to do is sidechain this to the effects bus, and we're just going to add a little sidechain on it so that when so you can see there, when this plays, the bus gets pulled back just a tad, which is going to help with the transition. Now this whole thing here, we can bust that again, and we're going to call this pre-master bus. So this will be what our pre-master becomes. So we are need to do a little bit more here. So we need to do a fuser against instruments against the DnB, so that instruments pull back in favor of our DnB because it is drum and bass. Let's give ourselves some more room here as well. Again. Conflicts. There's a bit of pullback on the instruments when the DB's playing. Nice. Okay. All right, so that's fine. We can even close this up and just work on this bus now. I'm going to go into my user library and my effects. Right, I have a pre-master bus, which is what I use for all of my pre-masters, and I try to keep things sounding the same and similar for my style or whatever. Try and pick my own thing, but I will talk you through it. I like to put this on first before the transitions, so what's going into the transitions is the sound that we want at the end. Right, so turning all these off, we start off with a Pro Q4, which literally just brick walls everything below 102 hertz in this case, but 100 hertz is in mono, so that's all that does. Then we've got a multiband compressor, which is the dynamic goodness preset. I don't mess with it at all. I just like it the way it is. I think it adds just a nice little crispness to it. I'll play it through so you can hear. This is without, and this is with. It just seems to squish everything nicer together in my head. Okay, now we have our stereo image. So now we're going to fix our stereo image. So in our tools, you can see we have a, I'm not even sure what track this is. Yeah, okay. So what we're going to do is go into here, turn on the stereo image for our reference track, play our reference track. Also, that doesn't need to be like that. And learn. Okay, so now it has our reference track stereo field sorted. We're going to do the same for our track. First off, we'll reset all these. Make sure to learn it. I'm also going to turn it down here, just because it's peaking on our input here. Yeah, so, alright, so what we have now is we have our reference track stereo image and we have our track stereo image. What all we want to do here is match the two to a degree. We're going to use the reference track as a guide. So let's solo our subs on both tracks. And you can see on our pre-master, our bass is fucking wide compared to the one up here, which isn't so extreme. So we're going to pull this back to control it. Some people will say pull it to this. Disagree. A little fatness to it never hurt anybody. Okay. And then we go move on to the next band. And again, we're just comparing. You can see ours is really busy, so we're going to pull back our stereo field again, tighten it up. Look at that, much tighter, a little less messy. And then go into our next one. We're just comparing two. Again, really, really wide. And I could already really hear that it was really wide. Somewhere like that. They're all kind of roughly the same amount here. And then we're going to listen here to our highs. Again, we're going to pull ours back a little bit and just tighten them up a bit. Something like that. Okay. So that's sorted our stereo image out. Next up, we're going to turn on this, cut it from here, pop it on our reference track layer, and open it up. And what we're going to do is play our reference track, which we have probably left that. Yeah. So we're going to play our reference track and capture the EQ band. Just let it play through for a little bit. You can kind of still see it moving a little bit as it captures its field. It's given an average here. So this is what we have from our song. Lovely, nice little image. Okay, now what we do is we copy this and we pop it on our pre-master bus and we put it back where it was in there. It's a bit long-winded, but I found this is the easiest way to do it. Now we have the EQ band of this one. So now we can just play our song and capture the EQ band of that, which I can already see needs a bit of a dip, as you can see. So now when we press stop in a minute, you can kind of see the blue is our song, the yellow is our reference. So we can kind of see if we can kind of like bring it down now to match up with our one. Somewhere like that. Now we're putting on the blow inhaler. That's going to automatically turn this down because we want this at -12 here, guys, which we're a little above at the minute. So we're going to turn it down in the clipper, I think. So we have a clipper here. Just want to shave off any rogue points. Not a lot. We've just taken off 2 dB there. We're going to pull this down to be 12 dB. There There you go, that's now 12 dB. It's probably really quiet for you guys. I'll fix that for you. Alright. Alrighty, so that's actually the kind of only real processing I do on the pre-master bus. Usually, depending on the song, but I think usually yes. But if you wanted to see our track and see how lovely and level it is now, you can see here, compared to what it was, which was messy, we're now looking pretty good, right? So when we push this into a limiter, it's going to all hit the limiter at the same time, which is going to stop us from getting distortion. But we are not there yet. We are on transitions here. So we're going to add those in. So I've been using these, but I'm going to change this up here. I'm actually going to remove these two at the end, and I'm going to put in Comet, and we're going to use Comet, but we'll find a nice preset for it. Right, turn all these other ones off for now. We need to find something in Endless Smile that is acceptable to us for when we are helium jumping, because that nice high pitched lead we have, I think that'll work nice. Go into automation and give your Endless Smile its own little house to play in, and I believe that's where we are breaking, right? Or is it? No, I think it's actually here. Let me just double check. Yes, so we want that to go down. Oops, we want that. We probably want it to start there, something like this. Let's listen. You can also bring up Endless Smiles, which is a visual. It's way too extreme, so we're going to bring it back to about halfway, 50%. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, we're going to copy this over to our break. There. We're probably just going to leave it like that. Because if you go too far with it, it can be really noticeable. It's just supposed to be like a little subtle thing going on. Next up we have utility. Let's start with width. We'll give it its own automation lane here, and we are going to, before the drops, pull back the width. So we want 100% in the drops here, like that. Again, on this little dot where we have our break, we're going to pull this down to, I don't know, maybe 35%, something around that ballpark. We'll start at 100. I'll have a nice curve come in here and then a nice bulge there. So we're pulling out the stereo width before we come into the drop. So we're just trying to make this drop as powerful as possible. So it's just that essentially, and really easy again. We're just literally going to copy that into our break. Exactly the same. With the gain, it's a little bit different. I'll explain it as best I can. So what we're going to do here with the gain is, we always want it to be at 0 for our drops, so we'll put those points in, and then we're going to add 2 points inside of that. No, 2 points outside of that, sorry, on each set of our drops. So 2 points on the outside of our drops. On these outside ones, we're going to put them as -1, and then we're literally just going to suck it in underneath that 0. We're going to do this on each one here, so -1, push this back here, -1, push this back here. So our drops will always be 1 decibel louder than our breaks and intros and stuff. So you'll have this slight volume increase, which just adds power. Basically, it's not enough to be like, oh, that got louder, but it's enough to make it feel more powerful. And then we add some little bits and pieces in. So on our intro, we obviously want to start off a bit lower, so we're going to pull this down to 5 dB and add a nice ramp to it. We're going to pull this out to 5 dB here and add a nice ramp to it. And as I'm looking at it here, okay, this is just, all right, that is our end in there. So I'm actually way out here, so this needs to be here. So we'll pull these over. Oops. That one. -1. And here, 0. Oh no, 0 there. We don't need a -1 there. Actually, we just need to straight zoomy out there. And then for this last bit, we'll just have it, you know, fade right out. There's a tail there, so we'll just have it kind of go out. So yeah, so it just fades out at the end. In the breakdown, what I like to do is pull out quite a bit of the old volume. So we're going to go -4 here, and I just basically have it like a curve like this, so it's like a little bell, because I don't want it to be so extreme. I do want it to be quieter. Again, it's to help with the build up. So that's this area dealt with. We got a simpling on here, and we're basically just going to have quite a steep curve on filter 2. So a steep ramp, 48 here, high pass, and we're going to add a lane for that by pressing there. Let's close up the gain now. We can open up our filter 2. I'm also going to increase this loop because it's confusing me. Right, so with this, we want it to be at like fully open, like in our drop, so we can put those dots in. We know that they want to be there. With this here, we're going to bring this up to 250 hertz, right? And down here we can have it start normal, and we're going to have quite a steep ramp there because of that kick roll. Yeah, I hope that makes sense to you guys. So we're going to just put that in our right here again, so that kind of helps with that. So we can now pull this back out, and then finally we've got our reverb here. We need to find one that's suitable, so I'm going to kind of play from here. I go into the presets. We don't want a massive one, so small's fine. Let's, you know, find something small. Yeah, so up to about 25% is our limit, I think, before it becomes too much. So we're going to copy this one from underneath on the simplen, and we're going to paste it into our comet. Okay, we're going to try and copy this. Control C, Control V. Yeah, so, and then we want this to be at 25. So we're going to pull these back. 25 we discovered is good. Okay, now let's listen to our little transitional area there. I guess from here. We should be increasing the wet here. Nice. Okay, the only other thing I'm going to have it do is come right up wet at the end here to help with that. It's going to help smooth out that ending. Okay, that sounds pretty good. Before we export it as a master, as a pre-master, we should really listen to it all the way through. Make sure we're happy, because yeah, once we've done it, we've done it. So try to get it done as well as we can to begin with. Let's start. Okay, first off, I'm going to have this come out like that. It's got quite a heavy input, so we'll have the reverb and also the intent for our endless smile be quite high up as well. So when it comes in, just has a bit more of a soothing flow into the whole thing. My ears are already tired, I tell you this. I'm getting fatigued from this week. I need a day off. If I don't stream tomorrow, it's because I didn't need to fix this track and I'm taking a day off. Okay, we've got a bit of a problem here. Our compressor was adding a whole bunch of noise to it. That's fine. So I've taken off that auto gain, and now we're probably way too quiet, so we might have to bump up our volumes a little bit here. Sorry, not you. You, please. Yeah, so we're way too quiet now, so we're just going to bump that up with this. I feel like we need to run the clicker against this again. It sounds a bit more clearer now as well. We was getting some distortion, I noticed some red peaking. It sounds cleaner now. Okay, finishing up. Nice. Okay, so that's now ready to go. I'm going to render it out. It'll probably take 5 minutes. So we will go here, select our pre-master bus, and we just want a WAV. We're going to export it to the pre-master folder, save, and I'll see you in a moment. Okie dokie, we're back. We're back. So we're going to save this as pre-master. So, boys, go sit down. Go on. I don't need you to sit and stare at me. I know I'm working, and that annoys you, but tough. Right. So now we have that, we're going to open up a mastering session from another track. I like it. Why not? Okay, so there you can see pre-master, master. So we are going to remove that, and we're going to drag in our nice and shiny new one from in here, pre-master, there. And there is our track. I'm just going to organize it a little bit so that we can move about. Pull in our loop. Alrighty. So basically we're going to go through all these and turn them all off. We're going to have our loudness meter there, and I've also got my spectrum analyzer. I'm going to put them on the other screen. It's not essential that you see them at the minute. So on our Ozone 11, I basically just use it as an effects rack. So we're going to do what we've been doing recently and just loop in this last section as our most excited track part. And we're going to turn these off one by one. And first off, just adjust the taste, okay? I already know that I like these things, so we're just adjusting for taste here. We're going to have a bit of an expansion. So what this is doing is it's compressing or expanding. So I'm definitely going to want to kind of expand a little bit these mid little parts. Just going to bring up some of those quieter parts. So it's subtle, I know. onto clarity. So I'm not even sure what this is in comparison to another. Yeah, I think it's just like an algorithm that clarifies everything kind of above this kind of area. So we're just going to leave it like that. Sounds pretty good. We can. About there, sounds good. Alright, stabilizer. About 50%, sounds good. With our dynamic EQ, with these. I'm just using it to find frequencies. I'm going to take one out at 350, and that's going to help with any muddiness between our drums and our bass. And then here, we're going to use this one. To actually find some harsh frequencies and just give them a little compress. This one here is just compressing the really tinny parts of our hi-hat. And that's it for in here. We've got another bloatinator here. This isn't adding any volume, but it does add fullness. And then we've got a clipper. So we're going to reset this clipper. And we don't actually need to do much here, I think. Just one, like half a dB will probably be enough. Maybe one up here. It's just a little bit of peakage. Where this is just in order to take care of any of those last peaks before we push it into limiters, right? Again, I think it's probably fine. It's that snare that we're trimming again. Okay. So 5 back in. Okay, I think we're good. Now with the limiter, I'm just going to reset this limiter really quick and have it scan the song. I've just been enjoying this limiter recently. Oh. That's all. Okay, pushing up into our limiter here. I'm going to turn down U on OBS because it's going to get real fucking loud. Okay, here we go. And we're pushing just till we hit the limiter. We're pulling back a little bit. Then looking at our loudness meter here, we're hitting 7.5 on our loudness meter here. But we want to hit 7. So in order not to push this limiter too far and create a whole bunch of distortion, we now use a second limiter, which we use in Pro Q, which is one of my faves. I use basically always. We're just going to change this back to default. And we've got oversampling on. And yeah, that's it. Let's just try and get that little extra half a luff by using this limiter here. So. Okay, what we can also do is if we go into this, the first limiter we used, we can also pull back the ceiling a bit. So now we can push it further. And now we're high enough now. Now we've gone too far. Okay, we'll push it a tad more. And as you can see, we're not actually pulling out, we're not actually cutting that much off with our limiter. We've got nearly a decibel on this one, and with this first one, it's barely touching it. We're basically pulling out a decibel there, so our limiter's really not working that hard here. We're just basically turning it up because we did all the prep work on our pre-master. It's really, masters become pretty easy as long as you find a sound you're happy with, which I'm pretty happy with this one at the minute. I'm sure it'll develop over time, but yeah, so this is it. We've got our nice master. Let me look on OBS for you guys so I can kind of make sure you're getting it at a decent volume. There you go. Okay, so loudness meter is at 7. We're happy with that. Here's our spectrum analyzer for them who'd like to see it. And there's our second limiter. Okay, now what I like to do, because I'm weird, is I like to duplicate it, as you saw before, and freeze and flatten this one so I can look at the different waveforms, because I like it like that. But once we've done that, we'll listen through and end the stream as we have been recently. This one's gone on a little longer than the last two, but that's fine because I didn't anticipate I'd get this far, to be honest. I thought I'd have to spend a lot longer on the mix, but I may have to go back tomorrow and redo this again, so we'll see. Anyway, yeah, have a listen and I'll see you in a minute. All right, I'm back. Right, there it is, our beautiful, beautiful waveform. Zoom in, lovely and level, lovely. Alrighty, let's have a listen through, and I will see you tomorrow if we need to do work on this. If not, Friday. I'm gonna have a day off, but we'll see. Okay, enjoy the track, guys. I can't lie, guys, I'm really happy with it at the minute. That might change tomorrow, but at the moment I'm happy with it. I wanted to do it for the speakers, the monitors, but yeah, I'm pretty happy with it at the minute. Hope you are enjoying.